All right, so let's say you're getting ready for an admin assistant interview,
Okay.
and you're feeling those pre-interview jitters.
Yeah.
We've all been there,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
But what if I told you we're about to dive into some seriously good advice from interview coach Joshua Brown? He's got some tips that'll have you feeling cool, calm, and collected, ready to totally ace that interview.
You know, what I find interesting about Brown's approach is that he doesn't treat these interviews like they're any less important than, say, interviewing for a CEO position.
Hmm.
He really emphasizes the importance of preparation and self-presentation, even for roles that some might see as, well, less technical.
It's like he's saying, even though you're not applying to be a rocket scientist, you're still a total rock star, and it's time to shine.
Exactly. And he jumps right into the heart of it, tackling that classic interview question, tell me about yourself.
Which can feel like such a deceptively simple question, right?
Right. You might think, oh, I've got this. But it's actually a golden opportunity to really grab their attention and make a stellar first impression.
So how do you make that first impression count? What does Brown suggest?
Well, he suggests thinking of it like this. You're not just reciting your resume, you're telling a captivating story.
Ooh, I like that. Tell me more.
So instead of just saying, I worked as a cashier for 2 years, you could say something like, I mastered our POS system, managed all transactions efficiently, and consistently made sure to provide excellent customer service, all skills that I'm eager to bring to this role.
Oh, I love that. It's like taking those everyday experiences and turning them into these shining examples of what you bring to the table.
Precisely.
Hmm.
And he emphasizes the power of weaving in keywords directly from the job description.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, it shows them you've done your research and that your skills directly align with what they're looking for.
So you're not just telling them what you've done. You're showing them how it makes you the perfect fit for this specific role. That's brilliant.
Right. And this whole idea of highlighting your skills, it's crucial and it should run through the entire interview. For instance, Brown dives into how to handle another common interview question. What skills and qualities are needed to be an effective admin assistant?
Which honestly can feel a bit like a softball question, don't you think?
Sure, it might seem that way on the surface, but trust me, it's a prime opportunity to shine.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
This is where doing your homework on the company and the specific role really pays off. Don't just give them some generic run-of-the-mill answer. Tailor your response to their specific needs and values.
So I should be doing my research on the company beforehand.
Absolutely. Spend time on their website, see what their mission statement is all about, really get a feel for their
I
values.
see, I see.
Yeah, and then you can tailor your answer.
So for example, if their website emphasizes teamwork and collaboration, I might say something like, being an effective admin assistant means being a fantastic team player. Someone who can communicate clearly, anticipate what's needed, and proactively find solutions that keep everything running like a well-oiled machine.
Now you're speaking their language. And that's what's going to make you memorable.
It's like you're already part of the team.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've nailed the tell me about yourself, and we've highlighted those key skills. But what about that other interview classic? Why do you want to work here? Like why this specific company?
This is where you really get a chance to set yourself apart from other candidates.
Okay, how so?
It's not enough to just give a generic answer like, oh, you have a great reputation, or, well, I need a job. You want to show them you've done your research, that you're genuinely interested in this company.
So it's about connecting the dots between my goals and what the company stands for.
Exactly. So, for example, let's say you're really drawn to their emphasis on community involvement, something you noticed on their website.
Okay.
You could say something like, I'm passionate about giving back to the community, and I was so impressed to read about, mention a specific company initiative. I'm really eager to contribute my skills to a company that values making a positive impact.
Oh, I love that. It shows you've done your homework and that your values align with theirs.
Right. It's about finding those points of genuine connection.
Okay, so we've tackled telling them about ourselves, why we're genuinely interested in them. But what about that question that always feels like a bit of a test? Why should we hire you?
Ah, yes, the dreaded why you question.
I feel like it's a direct challenge.
It does, doesn't it? But Brown's advice here is pure gold. He says to really focus on what you bring to the table right from the get-go. Don't be afraid to toot your own horn a little.
Okay, so instead of just repeating the skills I listed on my resume.
Exactly. Go beyond that. Talk about the value you'll add to their team.
So for instance, if I'm super organized and excellent at managing calendars,
Yes.
I could say, From day one, you can count on me to keep things running smoothly. I'm proactive. I anticipate needs. I make sure your schedule is optimized so you can focus on what matters most.
Now you're not just telling them, you're showing them.
It's like painting a picture of them being even more successful with you on the team.
Exactly. You're highlighting the benefits of having you on board.
This is eye-opening. I used to get so tripped up by those "why should we hire you" questions.
It's a common one for sure.
It is, but now I feel like I have a secret weapon.
And the great thing is, this approach, this whole idea of highlighting your value, it applies to all sorts of interview questions, even those tricky behavioral ones like, tell me about a time when...
Oh, tell me about it. Those always throw me for a loop. It's like they want you to come up with a specific example on the spot.
Exactly. And that's where Brown's STAR method comes in handy.
Yeah.
It's brilliant,
It's the
really.
STAR method. Okay, I'm all ears.
It stands for situation, task, action, result. It's like a framework for structuring your answers to these behavioral questions, making sure you're showcasing your skills in a clear, concise way.
Okay, so walk me through it. Let's say they ask, tell me about a time you had to deal with a difficult coworker. How would I use the STAR method to answer that?
Great question. So first, you'd set the scene, the situation. Maybe you had a colleague who was constantly missing deadlines, and it was impacting the whole team's progress.
Oof, been there. Okay, what next?
Then you outline the task at hand. So your responsibility was to ensure the project stayed on track despite this challenge.
So I'm showing them I understand the context and my role in it.
Precisely. It's not enough to just say, oh, I had a difficult coworker. You want to paint a clearer picture.
Got it, got it. What about the A action?
This is where you shine. You detail the specific actions you took to address the situation. Maybe you had a one-on-one with that colleague, offering support, clarifying expectations.
Or maybe I found a new system that worked better for everyone.
Exactly. You're demonstrating your problem-solving skills, your ability to handle challenging situations proactively.
Okay, so we've set the situation, outlined the task, described the action. What about the R result?
Ugh, the grand finale. This is where you wrap it up by highlighting the positive outcome. Did the colleague start meeting deadlines? Did the project get back on track?
So I'm showing them I'm effective, that my actions get results.
You got it. It's like telling a mini success story, demonstrating your competence and your ability to navigate those workplace challenges. It really is. And what I love about the STAR method is that you can use it for all kinds of this. Tell me about a time when questions you might get hit with.
So whether it's dealing with a demanding client or maybe juggling multiple deadlines
Right.
or going above and beyond to find that perfect solution, I can use this framework to keep my answers structured and make sure I'm really selling those skills and accomplishments.
Exactly. In fact, Brown even suggests having a few of these STAR stories kind of prepped in your back pocket, ready to go.
Oh, I like that. So I'm not caught off guard.
Exactly. So think back on your experiences, those times you really showcased what makes a successful admin assistant tick.
So that when those curveball questions come flying my way, I'm cool as a cucumber.
Precisely.
I love it. Okay, so we've talked about those behavioral questions, but we can't forget that other interview classic that always feels a bit like a trapdoor is about to open beneath you.
Oh, yeah.
It's the "what is your biggest weakness?" question.
Ah, yes, the dreaded weakness question. Everyone's favorite.
Every interview, it's like waiting for that shoe to drop.
Right.
So how do you handle it?
Well, like with so many things in life, honesty is key.
Okay.
But, and this is crucial, you've got to put a positive spin on it.
Because I can't just say, look, I'm terrible at everything, can I?
Right, definitely not. And don't fall into those cliche traps either, like, oh, I'm a perfectionist, or my biggest weakness is that I work too hard.
Yeah, everyone sees right through those, don't they?
They do. It's so important to be genuine. Think of an area where you're genuinely working to improve and frame it in a way that highlights your self-awareness and your commitment to growth.
So instead of saying, time management is my downfall, I'm always running late, I could say something like, time management is an area I've been actively working on. I've started using a new planner system, and I'm getting better at prioritizing tasks. And you know what? I'm already seeing positive results.
Now that's what I'm talking about. You've acknowledged a growth area, but you've also highlighted your proactive approach to self-improvement.
It's like saying, hey, I'm not perfect, but I'm always striving to be better.
Right. Exactly. And that attitude, that willingness to learn and grow, that's gold in an interview.
It's so true. Okay, so I'm feeling more confident on my answers, but let's be real. Walking into an interview, it's always going to be a little nerve-wracking, right?
Of course. It's totally normal to feel those interview jitters.
Any tips for staying calm, cool, and collected when the pressure's on?
Absolutely. First and foremost, remember to breathe.
Sometimes the simplest things.
Right, they really are. Taking a few deep breaths before you go in can work wonders for calming those nerves.
Okay, deep breaths, check. Anything else?
And during the interview, don't be afraid to pause for a moment before answering a question.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, you don't have to jump into an answer immediately.
Sometimes I feel like I do that just to fill the silence.
I get it. But taking a moment to collect your thoughts shows that you're thoughtful, that you consider things carefully before responding.
Makes you seem more thoughtful, less, I don't know, scattered.
Exactly. Now, here's another gem from Brown that can really boost your confidence and make you stand out. Always have a few questions prepared to ask the interviewer.
Oh, that's right. It's a two-way street. I'm interviewing them too.
You got it. Asking thoughtful questions shows that you're engaged, curious, and genuinely interested in the opportunity.
Okay, so what kind of questions should I have up my sleeve?
Definitely steer clear of anything about salary or benefits in the initial interview.
Got it. Got it. Save those for later.
Right. Focus your questions on things like the role itself, the company culture, or even something specific that piqued your interest during the conversation.
So let's say they mentioned they're really focused on implementing new sustainability initiatives.
Perfect example.
I could say something like, I was really intrigued by what you said about your sustainability program. Could you tell me more about that?
There you go. See? It shows you've been paying attention and that you're thinking beyond just, okay, how do I get this job?
This is amazing. I feel so much more prepared, more confident, really ready to go out there and rock my next admin assistant interview.
And that's what we like to
This
hear.
has been so helpful. Any final words of advice for our listeners who are gearing up for their interviews?
I think the most important thing to remember is that you are capable, you are valuable, and you absolutely have what it takes to succeed.
Oh, here.
Preparation is key. Know your strengths, anticipate those tricky questions, and practice your answers.
Practice makes perfect, right?
It really does help. And, most importantly, let your personality shine through. Be confident, be enthusiastic, and show them the amazing person you are.
Yes. Show them what you're made of.
And remember, an interview is a two-way street. It's also about you deciding if the company is the right fit for you. Ask those insightful questions, be observant, and trust your instincts.
Because ultimately, you want to find a workplace where you can really thrive.
Exactly. Good luck out there, everyone. We're rooting for you.
You've got this. And that's a wrap on another deep dive. Until next time.